Hey, so remember when you were a kid and you would always and you would get hurt a lot and then you would be screaming to your mommy, asking her to take you home because you're just in so much pain. And then you get the day off of school and stuff. Well, I waited a year every time I was little and I got hurt. No? Well, too bad anyways. This one is an honorable mention because it wasn't really an injury. It was a close call. On my graduation walk, this is so funny. So on my graduation walk, I was wearing like a really long dress and my gown. I was wearing like 10 different things. And so oftentimes I would almost there was a couple close calls. One, I almost tripped on my dress while getting off the bus that would take me to all the different schools where we would say hello to the kids and all that. This is my graduation walk, so I'm not even a kid. Well, I was 17, so technically I wasn't an adult. The second time was I was walking to the side, and I'm going to tell you this happens a lot. What tends to happen is while I'm walking on the side, I'm walking on uneven surfaces, and my foot gets caught in something, and I almost twist it. Almost. I live on a hill, and every time I've gone on a walk, I ended up my foot slightly twisting, and I have no idea how I managed to not sprain my ankle. Basically, I almost messed up my ligaments in my ankle. That's literally it. Luckily, I did not, cause otherwise, graduation day would not have looked nice. I would be getting a diploma while writhing in pain. I don't think I would want that. Worst graduation ever. I'll probably be in like a cast on my graduation party. 8th grade. So I was sledding on a hill, and this hill is really, really bumpy. Normally, if the hill is smooth and I wasn't just lying on my tummy, I was actually like sitting. Normally if I crash into something, I'm completely fine. But because it was so bumpy, I was like, my feet were like jolting up and down, and then I crashed into a person, high speed, and my uncle just smashed into the dude at high speed. Good news, I didn't break it. Bad news, and now I'm stuck on the ground. I'm like, so this is what it was like. So when it happened, I'm like, everyone would ask me if I'm okay. Oh, you okay? And usually when that happens, I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm totally fine. And the reality is I'm not okay. Because then, when I tell them what happens, I tell them my signs and symptoms, everyone be like, how you doing today? When the pain is gone the next day. Like, this is why I don't tell no one, unless it's actually real serious. Like, if a part of my body looks completely twisted and I cannot function with it, then obviously I'm telling someone. You know, if I wake up in the morning and I can't breathe and I'm suffocating, I'd be telling someone. But that did not happen. So I'm just on the ground. I tried to get up, and then I'm like, ugh, I need to sit back down. And my mom, and for someone, everyone would be like, do you want me to carry you back? And I'm like, can we just go? I was behind her the whole time. She did not see me limping. So I went back to the car, I get home. Once again, somehow, I hit it so well that you never noticed I was limping. But then, what day was that? Was that a Saturday? I can't remember. But anyways, by the time I go back to school, it's still holding, but I am not limping. I'm actually just walking totally fine. I did not even need a doctor. 12th grade injury was not an injury. It was a close call. This injury, either I bruised a bone or I had the mildest sprain in history, but basically I jammed my ankle. I know there's difference between twisting it and jamming it. No one talks about how bad it is to jam your ankle into something. You know, if you land like your ankle's really low, you like jam the heck out of them. And it stings. 7th grade. Middle school is literally a whole story of its own. 7th grade, I was in PE. We were doing basketball. We were just throwing basketballs all over the place. And this is my basketball phobia origin story. Yes, I have a legitimate fear of basketballs. And we're not just talking one basketball, we're talking like 10 basketballs. 100 basketballs bouncing all over the gym. Every time I'm like, let's walk around the basketballs. I'm like, no! Because this is what happened. What happened, I get hit the basketball on the top of my head. So then the social workers and the PE teacher, everyone's be like, I saw you got hit in the head, are you okay? And I'm like, if this is like 3 different, I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. The other ones, I'm like, what? I don't know. Otherwise, I'll be like, just silent. Obviously, I was not okay because I had no idea what the heck I was saying. I was super dazed, I was confused, I was completely out of it. Especially for like the first couple hours. Like, as the week went on, I eventually recovered, but probably should have seen the nose of the doctor. I probably got a concussion from basketball. And not basketball. Getting hit in the head by a basketball. I've never played professional, amateur, varsity basketball. Ever. I've never sustained sports injuries while playing sports. It's usually by doing the most random amateur things ever. Which is what all the hockeyers do. But like, now do you see why I'm afraid of getting hit in the head by a basketball? Because the last time I did, I got super concussed. The only other time I was worried I had a concussion, well, 2 times actually. One was I got into an accident, a car accident, and we were moving slowly, so I didn't sustain any injuries, but I was shocked. Every time I almost get into a car, my family almost gets into a car accident, I freak out. I just start bawling because I literally could have died. I could have become seriously injured. I could have had to go to the emergency room. All these things. So yeah, I was so worried because like I wasn't out of it, but my head hurt because my head slammed and I'm like, do I have a concussion? But also, I wasn't dazed or anything, so I think I'm good. But no, I probably did have a concussion, so like. Alright, before we move to I would do 6th grade, but 6th grade was saving for last because it's bad. 2nd grade, long time ago. I don't remember nothing from this, but this is what I remember. My mom says I didn't sustain any injury, but I'll tell you why I think I got something bad. So I was on a school field trip. We were on a playground. And you know how those little net things with a bunch of holes in them? You know how, like, that's pretty interesting? Well, I got my ankle trapped in there. It got stuck in there. And I had to pull it out. I was like, It's stuck in there, help! And when I finally did pull it out, it must have involted itself because it was just throbbing. So then at that point, because I'm crawling, I don't really notice it, but I do notice that it hurts. So then I go down a slide, and I come out of the slide, and I am probably limping. Was I limping? Was I just walking? I don't know, hold though. I kept asking my mom 1,000 times, why is it hurt, why is it hurt? And she either said, because you twisted it in a weird way, because you twisted in a weird way, it got caught, or you sprained it, was why I think it happened. My mom be like, I don't think you ever sprained your ankle. And I'm like, yeah, I did. You just don't remember it. Because I swear, either this was a fearful dream, or it actually happened. Like, what? She takes me to know, she gives me an ice pack, and by the end of the week, I'm like, all good. I definitely twisted it, definitely sprained it, but there's worse to come. 4th grade. This was either 4th grade or 5th grade, I don't remember, but I was, once again, at the school playground. I was playing on the monkey balls. And because I just watched the Olympics, I wanted to be one of those gymnasts on the high ball that be swinging back and forth. Obviously, I couldn't do crazy tricks because I have a fear of I actually have a fear of going upside down and fear of hitting my head or landing on my neck because you don't want that. I had the energy and passion, but I literally could never do gymnastics because I'll have such a fear of going upside down. Even on roller coasters, going upside down still scares me. I've gone upside down on a roller coaster before, and it is intense, and I don't like it. Maybe when I'm in my 20s, I'll enjoy it more, because when you're 20s, you're that's peak adulthood. 30s and 40s, it starts getting bad because then you get arthritis and all that stuffs. But yeah, I fell off. I was playing monkey balls, and I was trying to do a move, and then I landed on my back. And what do I remember from that? Well, there are 2 scenarios. The first scenario, there are 2 different things that could have happened. I don't remember the entire thing because I was pretty much fine by the end of the week. A lot of these injuries basically happened as I was completely fine by the end of the week. So, first time. So this is the first scenario. I was completely out of it. Slipping in and out of consciousness. I was so confused. I was just what happened? I was in shock. And yeah. The other scenario is probably more likely, is that my back just hurts so bad I could not get up. I didn't break it, because obviously that would be a different story, but I definitely bruised it bad. So then, all the students called for the principal, and I was sent to the nurse's office, and she found big bruises on my back. I think she might have given me an ice pack. I was taken home. My mom gave me ibuprofen, and after a few days, I was fine. I recovered. I don't have back pain anymore. I didn't break it. I didn't sever my spinal cord and develop paralysis. It was just bad moment. Now I'm saving the worst for last. This one is bad. This was before school, actually. So right before school, I was at a friend's house. I don't remember why I was at my friend's house. My mom actually wasn't with me. She was in upstate New York visiting her daddy because back then my grandpa had a stroke a few months ago, and it really affected him. That's why my mom came to visit. 2 years later, in the year 2020, he died. But that's kind of it. So my dad was there, and we were jumping on a trampoline. I was jumping with 2 big boy teenagers and a bunch of sports balls. Keyword sports. Anyway, so we were jumping, and this was a recipe for disaster, you know? So then a couple minutes earlier, my friend's mom came out and she said, "Stop it. This is dangerous." And I'm like, I don't give a flip. I'ma keep jumping on this trampoline. Bad idea. Probably should have listened to her. Because a few minutes later, this was like a minute before she was about to come out and say it's time. I crash into somebody, land awkwardly on my leg, and I'm looking at my leg. It hurts a lot. I'm looking at it and it looks weird. So, you ready for a leg reveal? This is my leg. And what happened was this part right here, don't know if you can see it, but this part here, it went from normal to like this part was squashed, and then this part, this is so weird, but this part right here was all swollen up. But like, basically, it looked bad. It looked deformed, it looked real swollen, and it hurt quite a bit. The pain was pretty bad, and then so my dad got me in. I'm like, what should we do? I wasn't really crying as much because I was probably like high on adrenaline. I was in shock. Like all these things. And so my dad's in there on the couch, and then, well, we decided to go to Oden Kale because it was cheaper and closer, and then the people there took one look at my leg and said, "You need to go to the emergency room." So we went to the emergency room. And then, this is a long story, and then what happened next is they look at my leg, take x-rays, take all this, and they're like, "Yeah, your leg's broken." And so I'm like, dang, I really broke my leg. And then they put me in a splint. And then the next day, I am writhing in pain. They prescribed me with codeine, which is 10% of morphine. They prescribed me with morphine. Think about that for a sec. And even then, it was still incredibly painful. I was writhing, I was crying. This is the next day, and I'm just like, I can't put no pressure on my leg. What the? I bet if I did not get that prescription morphine, I guarantee I would be passed out, probably more shock, probably would get sepsis. I'm joking, by the way. I probably would not get sepsis because reasons. I didn't have my bones sticking out. I didn't completely break it. It was just like slightly severed. And then a few weeks later, this is the interesting thing. So I actually did need surgery. And the surgery was interesting. Either they did not put me on. They either did put me under or I did get put under. They numbed my leg, of course, so I didn't feel anything. But I do remember I was awake and I was in my mask, an oxygen mask. At the time, I didn't realize that my parents weren't allowed in. So I'm like, where's mom and where's dad? And I was screaming with an oxygen mask on, coughing because I had an oxygen mask on. And then I don't remember what happened that, which means either they put me under or I was already put under and I just had a crazy dream. Or I was not put under at all, or I was put under, but then I woke up for whatever reason, because apparently anesthesia didn't do nothing. And then what happened was they put a freaking needle, like a true needle in my leg. It was, of course, sterilized. I wasn't going to get tetanus or sepsis or osteoporosis or whatever osteo infection there ever is. But, of course, they put me in a cast. I had people sign the cast. I tried crutches, but I could not figure out how to use them, so they put me in a wheelchair. I was disabled for physically, not intellectually. I've always been intellectually disabled. So yeah, I was in a wheelchair for like a good month or so. And then so when they took the cast off, my leg looked real weird. And then they took the pin out with a pair of pliers. And then, so when they took it out, I wanted to look at it because I'm weird. And I was crying because it was honestly pretty painful. Actually, still have a skull on it. I tried wearing a boot, but I honestly could not figure out how to wear it. So for a while, I was still in a wheelchair because I was too scared to walk. Like, my legs still felt so unstable. So then she gave me a cane, and they wanted me to have the cane super far away, but I said no because whenever I would walk, my leg would give way, and so I needed the cane to keep stable. Eventually, though, by Halloween, I pretty much was recovered. They actually had me take the PISO test, and my leg was still giving way. My leg was still giving out, so I did really horrible. And ever since, I have never been the same on the PISO test, ever. Now, every time after the PISO test, I literally cannot breathe. I can't breathe, I'm suffocating, I have shortness of breath, all the symptoms ever. I pretty much have COVID-19. Anyways, that's pretty much it.